Viewers, what can I say? President Muhammadu Buhari, welcome back to Nigeria, by the way. So, for everyone that hasn't been optimistic about the president returning to the country, well, what can I say? Uh, Things happen. All right, so the topic I want us to discuss today is hate speech. Hate speech. So, what do you understand by hate speech? This is a word that's been, popping up here and there, especially now in Nigeria. In some countries that they have different race groups and things like that, it can be said to be a discriminatory statement, okay, about some group of people. But in Nigeria, hate speech is simply using words that isolates a group, a tribe of people in this country. And honestly, it's not going to help Nigeria in any way, in any way. All right, my name is Toller, once again, the author and the writer of the book, When Will the Fallen Giant Rise? So, the topic we're discussing is about hate speech. So if you have comments, please leave your comments under the video, and if you want to follow me on Twitter as well at fallen_giant. So earlier today, they had the Minister of Information, Lai Mohammed, came online and was talking about uh, the hate speech. There's actually a constitutional act that talks about hate speech. So for those that don't understand what that means, and trying to wrap your head around it. So hate speech actually, it's in the Terrorist Act 2010. Okay, so what exactly is hate speech? Making remarks or statements about a group of tribe or people, saying bad remarks about them is actually hate speech. In the country right now, honestly, I don't think that's what we need. We need to move forward. We need to be united and not making statements like that. It's not going to help anybody. For those that think dividing this country is going to be their way forward, honestly, I don't know what you're thinking. If you divide the country, what next? Uh, if you're still going to trade with people in your neighbor, in your community, it's not as if when you choose to go, or if the Biafra people in the east wants to go their way, it's not as if when you choose to go, you're going to remove the land off the ground and take it to another place. No, it's going to remain where it is. So what am I saying? Basically, you are still going to interact with other people who call themselves Nigerians. So right now, we are all Nigerians. There's no typical sense in trying to divide the country. And the more we divide the country, the less powerful this country becomes in terms of our economy and so many things as well. So, but yes, is there a reason why people are feeling grieved about the issue of separating the country? Yes, that needs to be looked into and not something that we should just shove aside. Okay, that needs to be looked into. So, the statement made by the president earlier today that, the unity of the country is not negotiable, which means, if you're talking about splitting Nigeria, then you have nothing to say. I agree and I stand with what the president is saying in such remark. But I think what we need to focus on is that anyone that makes hate speech or make statements that are not or found a little bit insulting or a little bit has a zeal of hatred in such statements should be arrested. Honestly, should be arrested. In the early days and years, things like this are called treason. Treason is when you do anything that is against the common belief of a group of people is treason. And treason is punishable by death back in those days, but now no one is saying anyone should kill anyone. They have every right to express themselves. There's something that we call freedom of expression and freedom of right. But when you're trying to express yourself, you do not trample over other people's freedom or other people's rights. That's my opinion about that. So, in the issue of Nnamdi Kalu that was arrested because of his own motives and objective, fine. He has a vision for his people. but that vision is not looking like a vision that can sit in the bigger vision of this country. And as a result, it should be it shouldn't be ignored because it's a problem. So what the federal government needs to do is to find out why. Okay, talk to these people that are aggrieved. You know, have a discussion with them in the issues of him being arrested and he's released now on bail. And what he's doing, I actually heard he has actually broken so much bail conditions. Asking people not to vote is typically wrong. You can't tell anyone not to vote. The Biafra people, Biafra police, and all that, in my point of view, it's not allowed. He was arrested. Yes, he was arrested. Now he's released and typically doing the same thing. But what I don't stand with is the issue of a little bit having a biased way of decision. If he was arrested and then the Arewa youths in the north are still roaming free, I don't understand that. Don't let us give the perspective that some people are above the law, because that's what everyone is looking at right now. No one is above the law. The Arewa youths in the north has done the same thing by telling the eastern people that live and reside in the north to leave and give them an ultimatum to October 1st, 2017. I feel that's wrong and they should be arrested as well. And no one has the right to tell anyone in this country to leave their state and go to another state or leave a certain place. So far as in the sovereignty of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, it is not permissible. So I feel something should be done. The federal government needs to take an action against Arewa youths. If you want to balance, if you want to have a governance that speaks against division, then that's the right step to take. And in terms of marginalization, so many groups, so many tribes, so many are not satisfied. Maybe that's why they want to go their separate ways. Is it the solution? No. But you need to also find out why they are grieved, which is we need to understand why. In most cases, it's the issue of mismanagement of the resources of our country. And so when you think about it, they feel they're not having, any take from being together in this country. Someone used an illustration by saying the case of all the tribes in Nigeria being forced together to live together is like a case of marriage. And if you are not satisfied with what you're getting, you should have every right to divorce. Yes, but that's if you cannot reach an agreement. I feel the federal government needs to play a very big role here. We need to keep this country together. I believe in Nigeria. I believe in one nation. I believe in one Nigeria. The better we stand together, the better for us. United we stand and divided we fall. This country is great. This country has good potential. I believe in the next generation. I believe we can make a difference. I don't want to give up on this country, and likewise, I don't want you to give up on this country. So I would like to hear from you. Leave your remarks, leave your comments. Let's change this country. The youths must start talking out. If you really want your voice to be heard, this is it. There's no other Nigeria than this. This is all we got. This is all we have. So I am Tola Ekishola signing out for today. Hot topic, hate speech. Stop hate speech. That's the moral of today. Thank you. Follow me on Twitter at falling_giant, and also on YouTube where you see this video right now. It's also Falling Giant, Africa's Falling Giant. You can search those two words and you'll find me there. So let's talk about this country. Let's talk about moving this country forward. Let's talk about changing this country.